All right. So it's been a tough year for industry, especially in the third quarter of this year, posting a growth of only 0.9%. But the agri sector performed well, contributing 4.7% to economic growth in the third quarter. Fishing contributed 10%, livestock 5.8%, forestry and logging 4.7%, crop and cocoa 4%. So what has changed over time? Joining us is Anthony Morrison, CEO of the Agribusiness Chamber. Compliments of the season, Anthony. What do you think contributed to this good performance by the agri sector in the third quarter of this year?
Thank you very much, and very well wishing to all your cherished viewers. Well, I think that we must commend the agribusiness sector, especially crop, our farmers, both livestock, crops, and fisheries. Largely, we know that we are in the festivity time, and we have more than 30 million people who are looking to have a very good family gathering. So most of this is being driven by the consumer, and we can attest for the fact that the prices of rice have shot up. In some cases, we are having some challenges accessing most of the local food stuff. Just yesterday, we realized that the price of livestock have gone up, especially goats. People are buying this around 800,000 to 2,004. We have also seen the same with the fisheries as well. A lot of people are also moving from meat to fish. So these are major reasons. You know, the Christmas has become like a universal sort of thing for all religious bodies, whether Muslims, other religious bodies. Everybody is celebrating Christmas now. So it's no longer about Christians that are having the domain of Christmas festivities. And you know, the New Year is a new year for everybody. So we have seen that majorly most of this is being driven by the festive time. A lot of people are organizing parties, a lot of people are organizing get-together, a lot of people are organizing several other programs just to make sure that they enjoy the festivity. So consumables are key. We have also realized that the restaurants and the hotels have reduced quite a little bit because conferences are no longer in place. So you will see some measures of it. But it's good news for the industry. It's not to say that we are okay because our light harvest season is coming in, and we're going to see a lot of export as well. So there is still need for a lot of strategic investment to mitigate the incoming demand for export and also industrial use and domestic use.
Okay, I know you have been a critic of the Agri Minister and some of his policies. Does he take credit for this?
Yes. For me and the industry, I think that sometimes it's good to place the praise where it is due and also to put in the blame where it should be placed. And the PFJ market for us has been a very disruptive one. Why are we not seeing this in other sectors of the sector? So across the country, why is it only being done in one city, Uprede and Accra? PFJ is the national staff, and we need to see across board. And you see, the simple reason here is that if PFJ itself has been very successful, there is no need for the market, okay? Because market forces will push prices downward. If we have a lot of gluts in the system, you will see. But just as we have complained about the fact that a lot of interventions from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture have not really seen private sector or industry support. For instance, the ban on soya did not actually see all the support that we needed. And also, if you look at the challenges we are having with rice, it's also due to the fact that we have to be more intentional about the consumption rate, because we do have a deficit of $1.2 billion That is, we have a national average consumption of 1.8 million metric tons. So these are some of the things that we need to be going against going into next year.
Okay.
A lot of investments are required, and we have the strategy with various interventions that we are bringing into the industry.
I mean, even though it's been a good third quarter, we still have a challenge with prices of food, which impacts on food security. And as we have been made to understand, it's not because we do not have food, but because we have challenges such as high cost of fuel, which affects transportation, and then translates in price hikes. How do you see this play out next year?
Well, we will continue to have this as far as we're having challenges with high input in production. For instance, most of the seeds we use are all imported into this country, and also the fertilizers, which are major components for crop. When it comes to livestock depend on crop, and they also depend on other derivatives of the feed components, like the feed additives of lysine, methionine, calcium, and all that. So these are very important areas. As far as the crop, the cost of farming an acre of rice, maize, soya continue to increase, you expect that the farmers will also increase their cost of production to be able to mitigate the investment that they are putting into it. So these are very important things that we need to look at. We need to look at the national kind of policy, what kind of mitigation point. For instance, government is talking about the economic enclave project. For me, we're having about 3 million farmers who are in need of serious support. So I don't believe in that kind of economic enclave project, okay? Because it is industrial driven. Now we are more talking about food security, where Ghana's food security index has reduced. We have seen in the budget some $400 and something million being made available for insurance. Meanwhile, the cost of the production or productivity in the agriculture sector continue to reduce. So why do you put money into insurance when we do not even have the food at all?
Okay.
So government, for me, have to set out their priorities right. We need to be engaging on global level as to what global trends are going and what we should do as a country to make sure that first we are food secure, two, we are able to drive the agro-industry export, and three, we are able to provide enough for our own industry. Because, for instance, if you take the 1D1F, why is it that the 1D1F is having a lot of challenges? It's because we do not have enough raw materials, okay? So all these are driven by productivity on the farm. If these raw materials are not available, recently we've seen the trade minister launching the youth in 1D1F. To what extent, or to what economic benefit would this be to the country when the raw materials are not available, when the skills of this youth are not what it takes to run factories? So, I mean, there are a lot of things that we need to be talking about as a country. And
we have just about a minute, and so I just want to bring in this question because we need to wrap up. You talk about sustainable measures. The Greek minister's idea to cut food to the ministries for sale is already losing steam. And so, of course, that is not sustainable going into the future. I don't know what the fourth quarter figures are going to look like, but just in a minute, if you can, what should we be looking at going into the next year to consolidate these gains that we have made?
Well, these gains are momentary because they are being driven by the yellow time, the festival. What we need to do going to next season is, first of all, secure our seeds for both vegetables and cereals and grains. Where are our seeds coming from? As we speak now, the cost of seeds per acreage has gone up. Okay, if you are doing maize, you're going to spend, instead of 1,700 now, you spend like 2,000 plus. So a lot of things are going to work against us. But as usual, we need to hedge the input demand on the crop sector. On the livestock, which is the poultry, we are having immense challenges. These are another area where we need to look at, okay, how do we make serious investment into another sector. And it's good to see some private sector people coming in to provide some key interventions. But these are not sustainable. We need government to tune in some of their policies to support some of this engagement because these are very important.
Thank
Yes,
you.
we see some major import or export of mango, cash, and several others, which are going to bring in a lot of direct investment. But then we need to look at
All right.
the maize, the rice, and other sectors.
We need to go, Anthony.
Is
Okay, we need to go. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but I appreciate your insights and your input this afternoon. That's the Marketplace. Thanks for watching. My name is Dan.